Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a special guest, Leilani. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello. My name is Leilani. I am the director at Bay Peace. I'm a mother of two. I also am the director of Wage Art, and I am an artist, educator, activist.
Yeah. So today I actually asked you guys to ask us certain questions on what we would want to talk about, and you guys picked emotional intelligence. And for those who don't know, emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware or control and express one's emotions and to handle interpersonal relationships and with empathy. Empathetic.
To handle your relationships judiciously with good judgment. That's what
Yeah,
that means.
okay. Yeah.
With good, so that's important, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Because sometimes our judgment can be tainted by our emotions.
Oh yeah, and then especially whoever you're speaking to or you're thinking of,
Right.
you have to have no judgment so you can
Right.
understand them.
So it's like on one hand, you have to have good judgment about a situation or what you're going through or what you're feeling, but you also have to be, empathetic to what others are going through, whether that be with their circumstances, their emotions, their life or whatever it is. And
That
it
is
can't
a
just
good
be
word.
all about your own personal.
Exactly, or like the surface of relationships or problems that you're dealing with or anything like that.
Right, you got to really dig deep. And the truth is, I think that what you experience with people as you grow up, especially your family, like the people closest to you or that raise you, has a really significant impact on the way you interact with
Yeah,
others.
definitely, because those are our first teachers. A main thing, I wanted to do some type of research because I honestly did not know what emotional intelligence was. So the main key points were self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
And so those are some of the qualities when you are an emotionally intelligent person.
Yes, and
Okay.
those are, for me, I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna have to learn, certain aspects of those. So I created some questions for you, and you could also ask me in my point of view, whichever one.
All right, I could generate some ideas and thoughts for you.
Okay, how do you build self-awareness?
I silence myself. I find stillness, and I write.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
I write. I mean, I think a lot. Now I carve out a lot more space. Like, I'm really intentional about carving out space to sit in stillness, to sit in silence, and to either write or just think and be more attentive to my thoughts and my train of thought, and reflecting. Really reflecting. I think being able to reflect deeply and critically is like a really key part of building self-awareness.
That's a good thing. That's what I do. I do a lot of writing, and then a main thing is I ask like myself questions. Like sometimes, like if my mind is getting too built up, I just see what is physically like in front of me or what I hear, my breathing, that kind of stuff.
I think that's important, asking questions in building the self-awareness, right? Like, okay, you can know what you're feeling.
Exactly.
But do you know why you're feeling that?
Exactly.
Do you know what triggered the response because of that feeling? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like a 3-step process, like where you stop, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And then what can I do to kind of change it?
Right. Sometimes we can be so reactionary.
Yeah.
Right.
And like it could just get built up so much that we feel like the world is like tumbling down on us in that little small moment.
Right. And I think that's how situations tend to escalate, is you don't stop to think and then reflect before you act. It's like it's rapid, right? Like sometimes life can happen so quick because we're just reacting to everything that's happening.
Yeah, exactly. So writing, stillness,
silence,
asking yourself questions,
and reflecting.
Yes. 4 4 main things. I did want to ask, you know, sometimes we do react. So what, in like your experience, in what situations are you put in that sometimes you react like out of emotions? Like what can, you know, sometimes life could bring us and we react like out of emotions. Whether that be with somebody, whether that be with a life event that came to us. Like how do we kind of bring that self-awareness to us where we can help that, you know, situation that we're in?
Ooh, it's about to get personal. So I'm a super emotional person, and I actually only started to be a lot more intentional and attentive to the ways that I'm acting out of emotion. So you want an example? An example of something life?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about relationships.
Okay. The big one.
Boy, oh boy, I'm going through a serious. I went through a tough breakup. I'm still going through a really, you know, tough breakup and separation. And it's been super emotional. Yesterday, I felt like happy and sad and excited and nervous and
like all in one.
All in one.
Yeah.
But I think that what happens like sometimes in relationships is that, you know, sometimes when you feel a certain way in response to something that the other person has done, you don't say how you're feeling or address it in that moment.
Yeah.
Right? But if you don't talk about it, you might get an attitude.
Yeah, or you blow up.
Right, or you continue to, like, you bite your tongue, and let's say you do this over and over and over again because you're worried, oh, maybe they might feel a certain way if I don't talk about how I feel. They might act a certain way because they don't like how I feel.
Exactly,
or they don't like what I'm, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you think about somebody else.
Exactly.
Of, like their reaction to our
reaction. So it's like, I, for a long time in this relationship, I used to cover up how I felt. And I didn't talk about how I felt because I was worried about the other person.
Yeah.
And I was worried about what they might think about me or what anybody might think about me for feeling this way. Because if I acted on what I needed to do to address these feelings, then, you know, it might impact this other person negatively, or everybody else might think negatively of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it got to a point where I had a mental breakdown. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. I did it for years and years and years because I was scared. There was a couple moments where I did talk about how I felt about something. And it blew up back in my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is it my fault for feeling overwhelmed and asking for a little more help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's just their reaction made you feel some type of way that you had to like look at yourself and like not be your full self talking to them or showing them.
And I'm not the person to try to ask another to change. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna accept you as you are, but I need to learn to accept that the things that I'm feeling are because of the way that I just am as a person.
Yeah, and that's what you feel, and I don't think that like we should question on certain things that we feel.
Yeah.
We should just always question on how, you know, how can we bring it to that person.
Right. And so the problem is, so now it's gotten to a point where I've built up so much feelings inside that now any little thing with this other person of them kind of putting my feelings down or invalidating what I think, I'm like, I snap.
Yeah.
Or I get a serious attitude. I have to stand up so I can feel a sense of like that I'm grounded and I can't be lax because I'm already so
and it's kind of
triggered.
Like that's what I was about to say, like it's triggering you, and it feels like sometimes when they speak like that is like attacking you. Okay, like let's say someone was talking to us like crazy like that, right? So for me, I never do that. I'm like, Yeah, cool. You know,
Right.
but
So it's either
sometimes
no
they
feeling at
don't.
all.
Sometimes the person who's doing that, they don't get what I'm actually am bothered by
Mm-hmm.
you, but for me, I don't want to entertain what you're saying to me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because
some
you don't want to
people
perpetuate
now.
that energy and let
So
the
yeah, some
emotions
people now,
get riled up.
you do feel like you have to stand up to them like that,
Yeah.
just so they could see it. You know, but
Mhm.
like on my personal thing, like
That's
I
that
don't even like.
reactionary though, too.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of, it's like mixing fire with fire.
It's almost like a fight or flight
Exactly.
kind of response. Is that somebody you feel attacked? Maybe it's emotionally, physically, psychologically, mentally, in whatever way. And so you're like, oh, I need to fight back. I need to stand
Exactly
up for
for
myself.
them to hear me or something.
Yeah, let me make sure this person knows so they don't, you know what I mean, negate
Yeah.
my humanity. But it's not like I'm learning that, not everybody has emotional intelligence. We're not taught.
Yeah, honestly.
We look at toxic masculinity and then we look at femininity as like women are bashed for being overly emotional, men are bashed when they feel some type of emotion, sort of thing.
It's like, and then there's two ways of like emotion. So you are like, you're there talking to that person with that same energy that they're holding, right? And then for me, I'm like, I don't even want to entertain it, but that could also be, kind of wrong on my side too, because I'm not showing them emotion. I'm not getting over or working through what's really the problem.
Yeah.
So that's when we have to find like that middle ground.
Like, I think the reason it's so hard is because people have so much emotional trauma built up.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how to deal with it.
Oh yeah, no.
Nobody is taught, given resources and wisdom.
Nothing.
On, you know what I mean, self-awareness,
self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Yeah, right.
Like,
so
all of that is
self-awareness, we're not taught to sit and be still and reflect and think and question. If we're not sharing this wisdom with the young folks and with youth, and as generations continue, passing down that knowledge, it's going to continue.
Yeah,
and relationships are going to continue people are going to continue to be disconnected, have relationship issues.
Exactly.
So what I'm learning is that emotional trauma from our past, maybe it have been with our parents, maybe it had been with past relationships, like a lot of times we harbor that because we don't create space and time for ourselves to work through it, to address it and then transform it. Say like if I was writing every day in that time, or if I felt comfortable enough to talk to this other person to where they wouldn't come back at me and flip it on me, or you know what I mean, or if I would have just had more time and space for the silence and the stillness and the reflection to find peace in myself instead of worrying about what they're doing and just do what I got to do to protect my peace, then I might have been better off. But yeah, I think it's important for us to be able to like understand that people are projecting that emotional trauma onto it. Like we project emotional. I know
it's like two-sided, and then when someone comes together, even if it's like any type of relationship, we forget about that. Like we forget about, maybe this person has never even taught to even love themselves, to communicate, and then for being us, we can't put that expectation on someone who's never like.
Right, but we can support and encourage.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to see like you got to do the work.
Oh yeah.
I can encourage you all I want, but if you're continuing to say like, oh, I'm just sad, or oh, I'm just down about this, or oh, I hate
I'm this and I'm this way and
I'm
I
not
can't
exactly,
change.
or I'm not happy with this. So life is, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that you cannot control in this world. So many, but you can control your thoughts. You can control your actions. Control, but you can regulate your emotions.
Yeah, and just be aware of them.
Right.
And to the point, like you are feeling this way, so you should deal with it kind of on your own.
Like,
but no matter what kind of tell your partner, whoever, what you're kind of going through. But it's not to start an argument. It's not to even start a whole conversation. It's just,
and you have to remember too, like our emotions affect our energy. Right? Our energy affect the people around us, and especially the people closest to us. So if you're not taking time in those moments where you're feeling these things and you're continuing to repress, or not address, and you're just ignoring,
Yeah.
repress. Like
You're
I'm
going
or
to
you're
get-
masking by medicating or drinking or just doing whatever, or not. If you're not doing anything about it, if you're not proactive about addressing how you feel every moment, life is gonna pass you by in a way where you're gonna feel like you're losing control. That's what happened to me. The truth is, you can't make everyone happy.
No, you can't. You could just do your part within yourself, and that's it.
Right. I hear you definitely. Like I feel like, so I'm a people pleaser. Like I want the people around me to be thrived. I want the people around me to be good,
Like,
to be taken care of, to feel love. And so I think it was hard for me to find the balance of myself and others when there was so many people around me. When I'm responsible and over, it's all about the other people and not about me. So now I'm learning that it's, for me, it's easier to find balance when I'm very strategic about the relationships that I'm holding on to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like I couldn't continue this relationship because I felt like I was being depleted. I felt like emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, I was just being drained and depleted, but I didn't feel like I was being uplifted in those same ways. Maybe if I would have been more proactive in those very moments, in those 7 years, it would have been easier to find the balance. But now the scale has tipped so far to where I'm like, if I don't dump or whatever, or if I don't like do what I need to get better balance, then I'm gonna be asked out. I'm gonna continue to feel off. So yeah, I'm learning balance is important.
Like, you have to listen to yourself. Like in that relationship, your body, your mind was telling you like, yo, like you feeling drained, like what are you doing? But us being, human, we're just like, no, we good, like we're good. Let me just do what I have to do. And then a main thing, every time I told myself to just like be quiet, it always bit me in the ass.
Exactly.
Like 10 times harder.
Exactly.
So the main thing is like listen to yourselves. Like we're not dumb. We're not
and don't
stupid.
just sweep
we're not
it under
crazy.
the rug.
Yeah, like work at it. Like don't shut yourself up. Like you need to work at it. Something's wrong. And a lot of people just don't do it because it's out of fear or it's out of change, And that's what a lot of people do. Then what's the point of like what's growing then? What's evolving in your relationship? So how would you spread the awareness of emotional intelligence to the members of Bay Peace and Wage Art?
Great question. Well, so one thing I love about the work we do, Bay Peace and Wage Art, Bay Peace is, our curriculum is arts and political education. So we help students use the arts to process the violence that they see and or experience that's related to historical, political issues, right? Like these are young people who are systemically impacted by violence, and a lot, whether it's like mass incarceration, or the justice system, immigration, schools, violence at home, and then with Wage Art, the focus is arts and healing. So together we do, it's the political ed, it's the arts, and then it's the healing.
Yes.
And so it's being able to look at how does what we've been through, how does this system of violence, whether it's, the emotional trauma that gets passed on, or, the way that people are systematically impacted, like foster youth, right? Foster youth, children who don't have parents are like a lot more likely to go to prison or go to jail, or you know what I mean, and continue to be in the system, right? So it's being able, I think for us, is being able to educate young people on where this violence stems from, and then also having tools to address it and transform it, right? Because the truth is, there's so many things we can't do about the system. Our power is so limited when it comes to the government and laws, you know what I mean? Like we need mass people power for that. But that's not to say that on an everyday basis you can't make changes in yourself.
Exactly.
And make changes to where the life that you want is created because you're a lot more intentional in every moment about addressing the issue.
Yeah.
Whether it's addressing issues in yourself, addressing issues with other people, that's what's gonna take you in the day by day.
Yes.
Right?
And that's what's gonna have like a lead impact on, you know, the change of their lives.
Exactly.
Too. So yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, so I think for us it's just educating them, providing them with wisdom, like we're talking about, right? These 4 things. We just turn this. Matter of fact, let's turn this into a workshop, okay?
That, because I think it is something that we should talk about, especially within the youth that go, you know, every day, trying to, you know, react to like something that they don't deserve, or you know, like anything. And the truth, like
if you've witnessed more violence, the more violence that you witness and experience, the more likely you are to have trauma.
Yeah, because, and a lot of people, they deal with that and they go through that, so they think, you know, they'll bring it to their workplace, they'll bring it to school.
They perpetuate it.
Exactly.
Because it's like, what's done to me is done to you. It's like, treat others how you want to be treated. Well, if this is how others are treating me, I'm going to treat them too. So I don't know about that whole one, treat others how you want to be treated. Because it kind of, it makes this sort of like we gotta treat each other exactly the same kind of thing.
No, because everyone's different.
Exactly.
Also. And you know, some people just aren't, you know, nice, or you know, like even if people treated me like they wanted to be treated, I'm not gonna be nice or be all butt kissy to you because it's out of my
I'm gonna have to protect my peace and exile you from my space.
I'm gonna be cool with you because that's the person I am. You know, I'm not gonna like reciprocate your energy. You know, That's what a lot of people do. But yeah, I think the spreading awareness, especially to the youth, and you know, coming up with questions that they could ask themselves, you know, so they could take it out into the real world.
Yeah. Great conversation.
Okay, guys.
I like that one.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I will link Leilani's information down below.
Follow organizations. Baypeace 510.
Wage Art
_ worldwide. You can check me out as an individual educator, artist, whatever. Leilani, she art, Leilani. Check us out.
All right, guys. Have a good day, night, whenever you're watching this, and please like and subscribe.